A female founder with Meghan has just been named a finalist at the Signal Awards. And not just one nomination, but part of 3 big nods for Lemonada Media. The Signal Awards highlight podcasts shaping culture, sparking conversations, and setting the standards for the industry. For Meghan's series, the recognition comes in the business and culture category. The show gives women entrepreneurs the space to tell their truth about their journeys, the struggles, the wins, the lessons learned along the way. This achievement made even sweeter because it comes despite all the noise from the Meghan haters and the critics. For years, the haters tried to undermine her, claimed she doesn't have influence, she doesn't know what she's doing, or that her projects won't land. But here we are. Award nominations don't lie. The industry is recognizing her voice and the impact of her platform, no matter how much negativity gets thrown her way. Now it's about support. Voting is open, and every single ballot counts. Head to signalaward.com to cast your vote and help Meghan and the Lemonada team bring these awards home. Because when she wins, it's not just her. It's every woman founder whose stories deserve to be heard. Win or lose, the recognition alone proves it. Meghan's work is being seen, valued, and celebrated. The receipts are there, and the haters can't spin this one away. So apparently, Stassi Schroeder of Bravo fame is upset at Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, because she didn't send her a gift package. And my question is, why would you even expect one? Saying something supportive once doesn't automatically put you on Meghan's MVP list. That's not how it works. There are plenty of people, including myself, who show up for Meghan day in, day out, and push back on the tabloids and the haters when they try it. And you don't see me crying and whining I didn't get a PR package, because that's not why I do it. Supporting someone doesn't come with strings attached. You don't speak up because you're waiting for a thank you card or a PR package. You do it because it's the right thing to do, because you actually believe what that person stands for. So, Stassi, if your defense of Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, came with unspoken, "What's in it for me?" that's not support, that's self-interest. And it makes you look entitled, not overlooked. Take the loss, move on, and maybe stop whining. Whether it's the Black community, the Latin community, the Asian community, the Indigenous community, or the LGBTQ community tells you something is racist or discriminatory, stop trying to justify it, stop trying to twist it, or explain it away. You don't get to decide what racism is, or what discrimination feels like, if you've never had to live it. Racism isn't about intent. Discrimination isn't about intent. It's about impact. And if the impact lands on communities of color or queer communities, then your excuses don't matter. When people tell you something hurts, believe them. When they say it's offensive, respect that. When they call it racist or discriminatory, don't argue. Listen. Because every time you try to explain it away, what you're doing is protecting your own comfort at the expense of someone else's reality. And that's exactly how racism and discrimination keep repeating, generation after generation. So next time a marginalized group tells you something is racist, bigoted, or harmful, don't justify it, don't debate it, sit with the discomfort, learn from it, and down the latest round of tabloid spin. After his private meeting with King Charles earlier this month, several outlets rushed to paint the reunion was cold, distant, and formal, even claiming he acted more like a guest than a son. And Prince Harry isn't having it. Through his spokesperson, he made it clear those reports are categorically false. He says details that were printed, including supposed quotes, were fabricated. And the truth of the meeting is being deliberately sabotaged by certain sources. One of the biggest corrections was about the gift he brought his father. The press tried to suggest he gave Charles a photo that included him and Meghan, when in reality, the picture was simply of his 2 children, Archie and Lilibet. Harry's pushback matters because it shows how much weight is placed on narrative. He knows the image of a stiff, icy meeting could undermine his hopes for reconciliation, so he's drawing a line. He's also been vocal about wanting to focus on his father this year. And he's signaled that he hopes this wasn't a one-time visit, but the start of more contact. At the same time, we know there are still boundaries. King Charles has made it clear there's no path for Harry to return to duties in any half-in, half-out capacity. The divide between personal relationship and public institution isn't going away overnight. Prince Harry doesn't just want to reconnect with his father. He wants to make sure the story of that connection isn't twisted before it even has a chance to grow. Whether this moment leads to healing or more headlines remains to be seen. But one thing's certain, Prince Harry is determined to control his own truth.
Now, one thing really important, a lot of people are saying that they think that Meghan and her team leaked this to the Sun. I don't think that's accurate. I really don't think it's accurate. They hate the Sun so much. The Sun is very much Team Wales. If Meghan and her side were going to leak anything, it would be appearing in the American tabloids. It wouldn't be appearing in the Sun. That's not to say, that I know for a fact. I don't know who Matt Wilkinson in the Sun. I don't know who his sources are, but I can have a pretty good guess from the tone of the description, and it seems like Harry thinks that he knows who it is, who it is too. I'm gonna have a look at some of the comments, here. Um, yeah, it says Trish. I saw. Let's stop all this pretense. Charles is well aware of what his courtiers are doing. If he wasn't aware, he would fire them. They are acting according to his wishes. Well, yes and no. How and look, fundamentally you're right, Trish. Like, obviously, no one can work for Charles and massively go against his will. But uh I sometimes like compare it to, like, Donald Trump was talking about the deep state. The courtiers are a bit like the deep state. They're a bit like the civil service. They do have a lot of power independently. I'd really recommend Valentine Lowe's book, Courtiers. It's really good insight into how they sometimes get ahead of themselves and do things without his mission. But yeah, you're right. Like, ultimately, it's the Charles, and they can't blame the men in grey for everything. Well, there's plenty of people within the royal household who do want to undermine the reconciliation between Charles and Harry. For starters, there is William, and plenty of people on his team who think that it's a very foolish, stupid move. And then there are lots of people in Charles's own camp, his courtiers, who don't think it's a great move. And leading among them is Charles's private secretary, Sir Clive Alderton, a well-known Harry foe. I don't think it's any great secret that he is a Harry foe. I mean, it's there in Harry's book. He describes him as the Wasp. He says he's the Wasp. And so it was just, I don't know. I understand Harry's point of view. Like, Harry feels like the back briefing against him and the sort of use of anonymous sources to undermine him. It was one of the main complaints in Spare, and he feels that it was a massive contributory factor in the sort of breakdown of his mental health, in the run up to him leaving the family, and part of Meghan's mental health troubles was this. And you can see, right, it would make you feel paranoid if there's stuff appearing in the paper and you've had a conversation with a person and you've said one thing, and then an account of it appears in the newspaper that says something totally different.
All right, so for years there have been rumors that Kate was once a yacht girl. Now we know they tried putting it on Meghan, but that's just not true. But today I was on Twitter and I found this article, and disclaimer, I never really cared, honestly, before. But I thought I'd bring it up now because it's just, I don't know, it's very interesting to me now. But what got me was this damn headline, y'all. Kate scrubbed my deck? Doesn't that sound like a nasty, like, After Dark Cinemax movie, y'all? Also, this line right here. Kate Middleton was once a regular deckhand on a sailboat where she scrubbed and cleaned under the watchful eye of the Capetonian skipper. Yeah, that sounds like a synopsis of a nasty movie. And she was definitely a yacht girl.
The charities, they just hide behind them. It's all fake, and I think that the royals are having a damn good laugh behind our backs that they are getting away with all the things that they are doing, you know.
Well, I don't know about that.
Scandal
Maybe
with Fergie, the
some
scandal
of
with
them who
Andrew.
maybe are obvious, but someone like the Princess Royal, Princess Anne, is an incredibly hard-working, isn't she? Industrious, devoted, dutiful
Olympian.
And the King is also
don't
an
retire.
Olympian, quite right. And the King has worked incredibly hard. Somebody you know who's having treatment for cancer, he's done days and days of weeks and weeks, months of work.
No, I'm not obsessed with the royal family, and I can't see why. Oh, I just can't see why other people. I mean, I've heard the conversation. You're talking about the banquets. I think it's absolutely obscene. Oh, really? It's obscene when we have so much poverty in this country, and our towns and cities are in a mess. And I just think it's too much. It's too much.
You don't think it's a kind of a distraction? It's a way of kind of averting your eyes from all the misery and all the suffering and the people sleeping out in the streets and people at food banks. You've got this other kind of beautiful vista, a bit like watching a Hollywood movie. You know, you do it to take yourself out of yourself in a way.
Harry was in the headlines, and the House of York was in the headlines as well, and not for all the right reasons. So we can say quiet week, but you know, with this lot.
No week is ever really a quiet week. And the headlines regarding Harry this week is, I don't know, allegations that he discussed a half-in, half-out type scenario with perhaps moving here for a little bit longer and having, you know, part royal duties, part personal duties. But we've talked about this before, no?
We have, and we can actually have this section really, really short. Is he coming back to work as a member of the royal family? No.
No.
Move on.
Because half and half doesn't work, India, does it?
It doesn't work, and the late Queen, made it very clear that it would not work, and it won't work with the King either. What we are going to see, though, potentially, is him coming back even quarterly now to London. He's made clear that he wants to come back a lot more, and that will be up to his patronages here, the charities here, whether they want him to come as they did in September for the Well Child Awards. So it will be on that kind of a basis.
Harry has a lot of charities and causes here that he cares deeply about. We saw that in the recent visit, and I think he would like to come back more frequently to see those charities and support those charities. We also know that Prince Harry would like to see more of his father. He said that himself in his own words. He said it in a BBC interview earlier this year. He said it to The Guardian just recently, that the focus for him over the next year is his father. And, you know, when he was here recently, he did have that meeting with his father at Clarence House, and I think he would like to continue to see that developing.
But the reality is, Chris, a lot of people have spoken about the time that he was here in London, and it was a little bit like a royal visit.
We said exactly that on the podcast, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago? We also said that we got the impression, just from what Harry was doing, how he was acting, but also from his close aides in this country, he wants to reconnect with the UK. This isn't just about his father. He knows that his relationship with his home country is broken, and he therefore wants to reconnect that. So that's also what's going on here. If, however, it was put to me, does he want to swap surfing on a Californian beach for coming back to do a royal job on a wet Wednesday in, I'm not going to mention part of the country because I live in somewhere in the country, then the answer to that is no. He doesn't want to do that, but he does want to come back here more often and certainly reconnect with this country.
You know, you never know. There could be a point in time where that boy just gets bored of LA and California, you know.
You can do too much surfing, can't you? You can have too much sunshine.
Sometimes you just want grey and rain and wind and ice and snow, quite frankly.
And he's welcome.
Everybody hates Meghan Markle. Let's talk about it. Meghan Markle was just like a briefcase girl in Deal or No Deal, or she was on Suits, or she had that beautiful lifestyle blog, The Tig. Like, nobody really cared. She was unproblematic and beautiful, and everyone was fine with that. But as soon as she met Prince Harry, and as soon as it was possible that a Black American woman could ascend a British throne, everybody lost their shit. And as the story typically goes, especially white women, they wanted that Black girl away from Buckingham Palace as soon as possible. Yeah, that anger had everything to do with Meghan being Black and her ascending to a role that was historically reserved for white women. They didn't want to see it. And ultimately, the fact that she refused to shrink herself before the British monarchy really, really pissed people off, right? Like, she maintained her friendships with powerful women like Serena Williams. Meghan used her title to speak loudly on social issues, which, again, people hated. Meghan refused to defer to, like, palace handlers or Prince Charles or Kate Middleton. She was an accomplished woman before she met Prince Harry, and she would continue to be. And the fact that Meghan was accomplished accomplish that she insisted on her own brilliance and importance really threatened people, and it especially threatened white people, and white women in particular. And as Meghan grew bolder and more self-assured, things ratcheted up. She got so much media scrutiny and so much hate online that Prince Harry literally had to release a statement saying, "Please back off of my girlfriend." The media scrutiny was insane. Remember, straight out of Compton, it focused on her first marriage. It focused on the fact that she was black. It focused on the fact that her father had weird issues, right? It was nefarious, it was intense, and it had everything to do with the fact that this was a black American woman entering into a historically white space. According to the press, she was far too ambitious, she had way too much energy, she was a social climber, she didn't defer to the rules of the palace, she was mean to Kate, she was just a brat. That's what they all wanted us to believe. When news broke that like several staff members of Kensington Palace left, right? She was called a mean girl and a bully. And when there were reports that Kate Middleton cried over some tiara snafu, oh my God, we couldn't hear enough of it. This weird, intense, and yes, racist vitriol got so bad that by 2020, Meghan and Prince Harry decided to step back from their royal duties. And it was so bad that in 2021, in an interview with Oprah, Meghan Markle revealed that she had gotten very, very mentally ill during this period. And what was the media and white woman response to this like really sad piece of news? Well, of course, they called her a diva and self-absorbed. They said she was using the race card, that she was tearing the royal family apart, that they wish she would just go away. But none of this was racist, right? Like, they just didn't like this woman. Everyone obviously blamed Meghan when the couple moved to America, and when the couple released their Netflix docuseries, and when she revealed her own series, and when they had their own podcast. Everyone called her opportunistic and awful and a brat and just like all of these other names. But when you ask these people, why do you actually not like her? They don't have an answer. They obviously can't say that they just don't like her because she's black, but I fear that might be the reason. Ultimately, Meghan's crime wasn't being difficult, right? It was the audaciousness of a black American woman to aspire to a role to which white women felt entitled, right? We don't grow up with black princesses. And the idea that Princess Meghan from LA could ascend the throne made white women crazy. And that's why they don't like her. Meghan was unapologetic and unapologetically black, and the white world hated her for it. And she was ultimately a threat to them, so they tried to oust her. This is just a classic example of pet to threat, right?
I'm 44, white woman, born, raised in the South. My papa was a Grandmaster Wizard of the Triple K. I didn't find this out until maybe 3 years ago. I had some suspicion with the rhetoric he said growing up. I was 10 years old when he passed, so it was kind of in the back of my mind of the songs he would sing, the things he would say. So I grew up with a white supremacist, and I know how they think, and I know how they go about their day. So if you're on Facebook and Instagram and you're just kind of left in shock by these people upholding and exalting Charlie Kirk, this is nothing new. I guess with the internet, they're more exposed now. But white women, we're gonna have to start calling our own out. It is not the responsibility of black women, the people of color. They've been begging us for years. In every election, white women go do white women things, and they keep upholding white supremacy and the patriarchy. But when it comes to people like that, they're outstanding members of their community. He was a police officer, go figure, and knew everybody in town. He was buddies with the guy I think he was in the Georgia House of Representatives, Mike Padgett. That was his best friend. He was into politics. They are out there and they are educated. They are your neighbors, doctors. They're all around. It's just with the internet, they're a little more exposed than they used to be. But they know what they're doing. And I want to apologize in my last video. I said white women had blinders on. I don't think so. I think they know exactly what they're doing. And they're going to stand 10 toes beside their men. But this is nothing new. They're like, what happened? This isn't Christianity. It very much is in the South with white people. There was Christians for slavery, Christians for segregation. Now it's Christians for Trump. This is nothing new. It's generation and generations and generations of white supremacy wrapped in a Bible. So we're going to have to start having really uncomfortable conversations, and we need to continue to make them uncomfortable and continue to hold them out on their BS. So anyway, happy Saturday. Say happy Saturday.
There is no Palestinian state under international law. To any ally, Canada, Britain, Germany, France, if you try to help the ICC, we're going to sanction you. We should crush your economy.
Canada recognizes the state of Palestine.
I stand before you today beneath the emblem of the United Nations to confirm the historic decision of the British government to recognise the state of Palestine.
Je déclare que la France reconnaît aujourd'hui l'État de Palestine.
Australia recognised the state of Palestine.
Portugal formally recognized the state of Palestine as a sovereign state with full rights.
Belgium announces the recognition of the state of Palestine.
Ireland, Norway and Spain are announcing that we recognise the state of Palestine.
The government has decided that Norway wants to officially recognize the state of Palestine.
Del sentir mayoritario del pueblo español, España aprobará en su Consejo de Ministros el reconocimiento al Estado de Palestina.
I somehow enjoy it. I think y'all are onto something. Because I showered last night before going to my boyfriend's house, and this morning I went to Pilates, and normally I would not shower after Pilates because I don't really sweat, and you know, I don't have a lot of time, whatever, and I would just put dry shampoo in as I did and wash my face and move on with my life. Today I'm like, what do you mean I'm not going to shower before work? Suddenly I'm like thinking, they didn't do it yet, thinking about being a 2 shower a day girl, because you start normalizing it, which is, I realized maybe what happened to me with the showering, or the non-showering, is that I started to normalize non-showering, and I didn't really feel disgusting because it was the way I felt every day. And now that I've been clean, I'm like, should I do this twice? Yes. I'm starting to wonder if y'all have tricked me, trained me. Yep. Like Pavlovian dog style. And also my item for today, I'm not going to shower this morning because I don't have time, but I am going to do it tonight. But my item for today is I got myself a waterproof speaker.
Okay. We almost had her.
The slave trade must be recognized as the greatest crime against humanity. As the African champion on reparations, Ghana intends to introduce a motion in this August body to that effect. More than 12.5 million Africans were forcibly taken against their will and transported to create wealth for the powerful Western nations. We must demand reparations for the enslavement of our people and the colonization of our land that resulted in the theft of our natural resources, as well as the looting of artifacts and other items of cultural heritage that have yet to be returned in total. We recognize the value of our land and the value of our lives, as did our colonizers, as well as the governments that happily paid reparations to former slave owners as compensation for the loss of their property, in quotes, and that property for which they received compensation referred to enslaved people who had been freed. The days of parceling out vast concession areas to foreign interests for exploitation must come to an end. We'll continue to welcome foreign investment, but we must negotiate better for a bigger share of the natural resources that belong to us.
It drives me mad. They call each other my husband and my wife.
My wife, 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 my wife and I, 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 me and my wife, me and my wife, me and my wife. I'm so proud of my wife, my incredible wife, an amazing wife. I knew I had found a soulmate in my wife. Thank you, my love. The girl of my dreams, mother to my children, the love of my life.
Hello, my people. Lady Rosie here. How y'all doing? All my new subscribers, you're welcome. And my returning subscribers, you all know I love you. There are lots of stuff happening on this internet nowadays. These people are coming with different papers, and all those papers have different stuff about His Royal Highness Duke of Sussex, his visit to his father. It's all over the place. So right now here everybody's talking about lies, which we know. You do not leave a cult and tell yourself you want to go back into. Duke of Sussex did learn what that family is for 30-something years, and that same family did whatever they did to his mom. And the person who started everything that ruined his mom's life, marriage, and everything is the Queen. And y'all want to tell me that he didn't know what he was doing, and he want to go back to that place when he got taken out of that clan. The misery that he was put through via births into that family, birth accident that made William who he is, and that made His Royal Highness Duke of Sussex spare. You know, and made him a second-class citizen for the monarchy. And yet he's the most popular one and very well spoken and a smart one, and the one who actually served in his country in the army. Did great by his people, and came up with the Invictus Games for the wounded veterans. And guess what? They can't see all that. They wish the heir to the throne had a capability of doing all those, but guess what? He is less than. He is smart. He's so dumb, and he's in battles. When you're into Ruski Standard, what are you gonna do? All you need to do is sleep. We all know the people in Ruski Standard, and most of them, if they're big, huge politicians, they always have like people, secretaries doing jobs for them when they are deep into battles. We saw that with Boris Yeltsin in Russia. Did you guys know the Yeltsin president? He quit the presidency. He called Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin and told them, guess what? I'm damn out of this office here. I love my Ruski Standard and I love the country. And I'm walking out. Putin, take this chair here and I'm bad, Felicia. I'm out of here. So you have leaders, world leaders on the Ruski Standard regiment. And William is one of them. They have secretaries who actually do jobs for them. They have people. But until one day, that Ruski Standard is going to pop out, and pop in, and pop out. And we're going to see one day. Didn't you guys call Jason Nath back there? Yep. He's back. He's doing double work. The other one and this one, the office secretary job. He doing all them all. Y'all, so they came up with those lies saying His Royal Highness Harry Windsor told them he wanted one in out and in out. What in and out burgers. Y'all know in and out burgers. Gotta leave me alone. What? He wanted 1 foot in, 1 foot out in California. And they're like, oh, guess what his father said? His father refused that. Just he's stepping on his decision like his mother said. No one in out. You can't be working for Netflix and work for this monarchy. When you're working for that monarchy, you need to be poor, broke like everybody. You need to be like Mick Mambus. Yeah, broken spiritually, emotionally, financially, broke. That's when you're gonna qualify to work in that monarchy. But if you are making anything with Netflix, this is according to tabloids. You cannot serve that monarchy. Monarchy likes the poor people. Monarchy is like what do you call that? What do you call those people in Bhutan? They're also in China, in those mountains of Himalaya. What do you call those people? The monks. Yeah, you gotta be that broke. You need to ask for food to eat. You need to be like a really, yeah, all that. No, they don't want you to be independent. They do not want you to have big bank account. They don't want you to get any money to donate those millions of dollars like His Royal Highness Harry Windsor does donate out here. That'll be pissing them people off. Jesus Christ, I had never seen people with the poverty spirit like that yet. They went looted around the planet. They looted every single damn thing. They went out there, looted everything from India to Africa, and looted all the minerals and the spices to cook food, and they just ended up like with no spice in them damn own foods. I don't know what is wrong with these people. Just leave me alone. I need to mind my Sussex squad business, and I do not know one day Her Royal Highness Duchess of Sussex is gonna even say that she wanna revisit that place that almost unalived her and her child. I do not see one day that kid who was given birth to by a black proud mother is gonna tell the world she wanna go back into that doom's world to do what? I mean, seriously, these people, I don't even know what y'all guys sit down there and think about with the black people. We don't know the thing that y'all guys think. You know what y'all did to our ancestors? I tell you, if this generation of millennials and Gen Zs was there that time of the black people, you would unalive all of us before we went on to those plantations. I'm telling you that don't try me, and don't try my people, and do not come here with your nonsense. Put you nonsense, then, yo, let me shut up. Sussex Squad, I love you. I'll talk to you guys again later. Bye for now. Please subscribe to Notorious JTB 2.0 and also to Notorious JTB on here on YouTube. Let's get brother to some big numbers. These people be getting on my nerves in a really bad way. I do not want to say some stuff that ain't gonna make my videos go through, because you know sometimes this channel, this platform itself doesn't like us. This channel platforms, all these platforms themselves are racist. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.